If you make a single sound right now, we are both going to die. One wrong step. That is all it takes to sign your own death warrant. You feel it before you see it. The sand beneath your boots stops being solid rock and turns into a vibrating ocean. You freeze. You hold your breath, but the planet already knows you're there. The eruption. A creature the size of a skyscraper erupts from the earth, swallowing machines, men, and metal without a second thought. On Arrakis, you aren't at the top of the food chain. You are barely a footnote. The monster isn't the thing that kills you. When you are standing in the shadow of a colossal apex predator, the greatest danger isn't the teeth. It's your own biology. Human instinct screams at you to run, to panic. But on Arrakis, panic causes erratic movement. Erratic movement causes vibration, and vibration brings the worm. To survive here, humanity had to realize that their own primal instincts were a death sentence. They didn't just survive. They adapted in the most brilliant way possible. This is where the brilliance of Dune's storytelling shines. It isn't just a book about space politics. It's a masterclass in human psychology. The native people of Arrakis, the Fremen, didn't survive by building bigger weapons. They survived by hacking their own minds. They developed the sandwalk, a fluid, a rhythmic way of moving that mimics the natural shifting of the desert. But to walk without rhythm, you first have to silence the chaos in your head. You have to achieve absolute, unbreakable mental discipline. To do this, they rely on a psychological tool known as the Litany Against Fear. It goes like this: I must not fear. Fear is the mind killer. Fear is the little death that brings total obliteration. This isn't just sci-fi poetry. It is a highly effective, real-world grounding technique. When the brain enters a fight-or-flight state, the litany forces the mind to step back, observe the fear as a separate entity, and let it wash over them. Where the fear has gone, there shall be nothing. Only I will remain. By the time the panic subsides, the Fremen are no longer prey. They are part of the desert. While the entire universe fights, bleeds, and dies for the spice, the native Fremen know the truth. Spice is just dust. The true currency of Arrakis, the only thing that actually matters, is water. In a world with zero surface moisture, absolute mental discipline isn't enough. You need absolute physical discipline. Crying for the dead is considered a profound waste of moisture. Spitting on a table isn't an insult. It is the highest form of respect, because you are sharing your body's most precious resource. This obsession with conservation birthed one of the most brilliant survival tools in sci-fi history: the still suit. It is essentially a wearable water treatment plant. Every drop of sweat, every exhalation of breath, and every bodily function is captured, filtered, and continuously pumped back into catch pockets to be consumed again. A properly fitted still suit means you lose no more than a thimbleful of moisture a day. It isn't just clothing, it is a second skin. An artificial evolutionary leap required to walk the deep desert. But the most shocking element of this water-bound psychology happens at the end of a Fremen's life. When someone dies in the desert, they aren't buried. Their body is taken to a death still, where every drop of moisture is extracted and given back to the community reservoir. It sounds brutal to an outsider, but to the Fremen, A person's flesh belongs to them, while their water belongs to the tribe. It is the ultimate act of love and shared survival. Even in death, you ensure that your people live on. Into this unforgiving meat grinder steps a boy, Paul Atreides. He isn't a hulking action hero. He is an outsider, thrust onto a planet designed to kill him. But Paul possesses a profound advantage. While the Fremen mastered the psychology of the desert, Paul was raised in the absolute pinnacle of mental and physical conditioning. He understands the Litany Against Fear not just as a survival tactic, but as a weapon, conveying suppressed agony. Before he ever touches the sand, his mind is put to the ultimate test, the Gom Jabbar. A poisoned needle held to his throat, and his hand forced into a box that simulates unimaginable, burning agony, the instinct to pull away, to panic, to give in to the animal brain is overwhelming. If he flinches, he dies. But Paul breathes. He recites the litany. He lets the pain wash through him and remain completely still. He proves that his mind is the master of his flesh. When this unbreakable mind is finally unleashed on Arrakis, something terrifying happens. Paul doesn't just adapt to the Fremen culture, he absorbs it. He takes their absolute discipline, their religious fervor, and their perfect water-conserving survival tactics, and he binds them to his own absolute will. He doesn't just learn to walk without rhythm to hide from the sandworms. He learns to summon them, to ride them. The outsider doesn't just survive Arrakis, he becomes its new apex predator. That is the exact philosophy we explore here. We break down the greatest books, the deepest lore, and the most powerful ideas ever written to understand how to build a sharper, more resilient mind. Survival isn't just about fighting monsters. It's about mastering yourself. Welcome to ZnewWorld.